Should we do a Steve Dangle podcast? All right, let's do it. Justin, are we firing the intro here? Let's do it.
No,
I guess we're not.
One.
Well, we just let the air out of the tire there, didn't we?
All right.
I
think we can wrap it.
Yeah, no, I think we're done.
Oh, we're all done, yeah?
So listen.
Thanks for coming.
There it is.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
All right. Hey, I like the let's go. All right, so listen, we got to talk about so many things today. So many things. Do you guys want to start with Olympics? Do you want to start with, do you want to talk about the trades? Like, what do we want to do? Where do we want to go?
I think we're blessed that all of these things happen before a recording for once.
Yeah. How about that?
For once.
Yeah.
For once. I don't know, the Olympics, is that the biggest thing?
Sure, let's talk about it. So listen, So we got the Olympics coming, we got the World Cup coming, we got the Four Nations Cup because, you know. Cool. Any time that you can have a tournament involving international teams and exclude the league's second best player, you got to do it.
Dude,
you got to do it.
Austin Matthews will be there.
I'm sorry.
What are you
it's
talking
Leon
about?
Draisaitl.
Excuse me.
they're not sure to boo or cheer that. Second best. It's better than third, but like it's also worse than first.
You're damn right. Goals are better than assists. Thank you. Just
Adam,
don't ask me about soccer.
Adam, before you fall in love with that guy, he's a linesman.
Oh, boo this man. I bet when he puts his drink down on the table, he's like, oh shit.
Got him.
So here's the thing. We finally get the Olympics. Now, I don't even know where the Olympics are because I don't care until like the day before, honestly, right? Oh.
Hey.
Where are they? Where? Is it Torino?
Italy. It doesn't matter what city.
Oh,
Italy.
okay. Oh, no, it's Milan, is it? Or no,
I think it's
Genoa.
Milan. Milan?
What is it? It's his
Steve
home country.
Dangle's
That's right.
home country. It's in Scarborough.
Now, I remember...
It's at U of T Scarborough,
That's
the whole
right.
thing.
So I remember when we were talking about this about a month ago, the arena was like a big concern for the NHL. Oh, how are we going to play hockey without a new arena? Ignoring the fact that there's a 4,000-seat arena, bigger than Mullet Arena, in the city right now, where the Olympics are going to be held. I guess the arena is underway.
NHL size.
NHL size, which is great.
Very important, NHL size.
And we found out with Alan earlier that all the insurance and all that stuff is going to be paid for. That's great. Do you guys care about the time difference? Who cares? Does anybody care? No. So that's been a thing that's held the NHL back a lot is this supposed, people don't want to watch at weird times. Have you guys, you've heard them talk about this, right?
I've heard them make every excuse in the world. You know what's great is this is the NHL having to realize something once and for all. Because did you notice the spacing of the announcement? Yesterday, they're like, and we're going to do this thing with 4 countries. Yeah, that was the reaction. That was the reaction. And then today, hey, we're going to go to 2 Olympics. All right, that's the better one. The one that people gave a vague damn about, that one.
Yeah. The NHL, they have an unwillingness to do things that like burden themselves, but would benefit the fans. So with the Olympics, you got to interrupt the season. You got to pay for all the insurance. You got to send your best players and risk injury and all that stuff. And all of that's a pain to the NHL, but it's fun for the fans because we get to watch best on best hockey. And they hate doing things that don't benefit themselves directly.
Well, and you know the crazy thing? So, believe it or not, I watch a lot of hockey games.
Oh, crazy.
And the players get hurt anyway. Playing in the NHL didn't stop them from getting hurt. Mm-hmm. That's the weirdest thing.
Hold on a second.
Like, isn't that the risk that every elite athlete takes? What if just everyone boycotted the Olympics, not for anything political, just, I don't know, I like my hamstrings. I don't want to hurt my knees.
Yeah, right. I don't want to win a gold medal because it might hurt me. Ow.
Exactly.
I trained all my life to be fit. That's all.
That's it.
I don't need the accolades, it's fine.
Well, and I think this all comes down to billionaires just don't want to spend their money.
Exactly.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Well, and you know what?
I don't understand.
I think
is this a new concept? Or?
That might be the reason that we're not billionaires, because instantly, if I'm a billionaire, and the cost, I am a billionaire, you're right. Don't you forget it. See this watch?
Adam actually owns the rec room, so. Yeah.
Thank you,
Pay
by
your
the way.
tabs. Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome for the venue tonight. No, I think what's fascinating about this is that if it were me, let's say I own the Toronto Maple Leafs one day, that'd be great. Oh, that'd be great. I'd love that. I would be like, you know what, Gary? It's okay. The $15 million you got to pay in insurance, the $1 million in flights, I'll take care of it. I just want to see him go. But I don't think you can be an owner, and I don't think you can be a commissioner and be a fan too.
Yeah. They don't think about it like that at all.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, imagine like how
What
hard.
about what about a 3-decade tyrant in their 70s? How's that?
I don't know.
Is that effective? No? Is that bad? Sorry.
Well, it's
How do you know what
frustrating.
I'm talking about? Don't clap. You don't know who I'm referring to.
So anyway, we finally got what everybody's been asking for. It's exciting. We're pumped about it. The Four Nations Cup, as much as it's sort of goofy, so was Team North America, and we ended up loving that, right? Team Some of Europe was less exciting.
I was there. There was one guy in a Slovakia jersey who was pumped.
That's, okay, there you go.
I think it was Gaborik.
But I'm open to this tournament being fun. I am open to that.
Of course.
What does it need to be for you? Think about this. If you're going to spend your hours, right? Because we got to work. We got to pay bills. We got to mow lawns. We got to do whatever it is we got to do. So the hours that you have on the couch, and I really believe this, and you can tell from my body shape that I believe it, the hours on the couch are precious. They mean a lot. If you're going to spend your hours on this, what do you need to see for this to be a success? For you as a fan.
The one thing that the NHL and everyone involved can't plan for, moments. We all remember, how did 2010 end? Pretty good. Pretty good. You know they won in Sochi too. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was 2-0 and it was boring.
I've never had a single person tell me, and I was there. I saw that.
Do you know where you were? Do you know where you were?
I was in your mom's basement.
That's right.
I was hanging.
There too. I was there too.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you
Just
for
your
clarifying.
Mom. No, and like the Sochi Olympics, like, yeah, Carey Price was absolutely dominant, and they played this. And
Canadians
they
fan here.
played this unreal structure and everything. Structure's not what makes fans. Overtime winners by the best player in the sport make fans on home ice. Disney movie stuff. That is, if you wrote it, you'd be like, all right, that's how I would write it. But in real life, Brendan Morrow probably scores that goal. No, Sidney Crosby, all alone from Jerome McGinley, who did not have retirement forced upon him. How dare you?
That's a deep cut.
Yeah, it's moments, right? It's difficult to plan for that. The best players in the world can go. I don't know if people will ultimately care if it's all dominance. Like, they tried to recreate it when we were in school. They tried to recreate the 72 Summit Series when we were in the 8th grade and Canada was going toward the gold medal game in Salt Lake. Canada, I don't remember who they beat, but they made it to the semifinal against our longtime, historic rival, Belarus. And I remember they brought our class into the auditorium and they wheeled the TV in and they're trying to recreate the youth that they had and the experience that they had. Canada won like 8-0. Yeah. So all I remember, yeah, I was happy about it. But like after the 4th or 5th one, we're like, this kind of sucks. I'm happy about it, but it didn't, I don't remember who scored. I don't remember the moments. I remember the moment where Sweden choked against Belarus and the puck went off Tommy Salo's head.
Oh yeah,
Because that was a moment, right? So what we're looking for here is I need Matthews and McDavid battling for the puck, going at each other's throats. Matthews gets an opportunity one way, and he tries, and he gets stopped. Patrick Laine gets the puck and goes the other way and scores. Sorry, that happened. That happened in real life in a Leafs-Jets game. But you need
that is
moments.
too much of a deep cut for any of us. See, you know what I love about Steve, and I'm going to just take his sideshow, and Jesse can relate to this too. Sure. There's moments on the show where only Steve would remember the Jets and Leafs from November 2018, And we're like, what the hell is he talking about?
It's October
Nobody else
2017.
remembers it. He's like, don't you guys
2016.
remember? Oh, 2016. Okay, well,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Because I got that stored in my memory bank, right?
Right.
Yeah, so...
Doesn't everyone?
Can I answer your Olympic question?
Yes, please, give it to me.
So for me, like, just the idea of best on best for me is enough. Because, like, I feel like the women's hockey game doesn't get enough credit for, like, a lot of things.
Yeah.
And what the women's hockey game has been fighting for a league and all this stuff, is they've had these showcases around North America where it's Team USA versus Team Canada, because that's the best on best. And I feel like the NHL's finally caught up and they've realized, hey, best on best is amazing. And if you just put McDavid and Crosby and Marner on a team together, that's enough for people to show up to an arena. And I feel like the women's hockey's been very successful with that model, and them just going best on best, even though it's only 4 nations, having all of the stars on one team in competition that they care about. All those guys are going to be out there caring because they've set it up where you're playing each other, it's a hockey game, it's for stakes, and that's enough to get me to tune in.
Well, so, yeah, amen, Jesse. We got some applause over there.
Also,
like
Patrick Laine in 2016.
Yeah, oh, man, everybody remembers that play, right? Okay.
It was the LFR had a spike because they lost, then I was mad. So
What a
hard to
shock.
forget. Yeah, I know. It's weird. I'll be like, hey, they won 4-2 against the Islanders. Nothing.
Yeah. No,
Nope.
it's okay.
And they lost to friggin' Anaheim, and then this kid gets over it. I just did an impression of myself.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
hate that. I hate
like
that.
Pretty good,
That
yeah.
was the voice I chose.
You do a good impression of
I
yourself.
do a terrible impression of myself. That was a better impression of Michael Bublé.
Now, I'll be
terrible.
honest with you. We need
That
to
was
talk
terrible.
about that because I woke up this morning and
About what?
I'm doing prep for the show. We buried the lead. Doing prep for the show, and my wife on the couch, who's with the couch, and she's sitting on the couch with our cat Teddy. He's a white cat, and she's like scrolling through her phone, and she's like, "Steve's on TMZ," and I was like, "Yeah, okay." And she's like, no. Steve Dangle, your friend from high school, is on TMZ. And so
Do you know why, though?
yesterday,
Do you know why, though?
sex scandal, it's super hot. No, he was, so you guys all saw the Michael Bublé press conference yesterday where he was talking about microdosing on mushrooms, which, how many people here? Yeah, all right.
Currently on
He
mushrooms.
didn't
yes.
raise his hand. He did this.
Spirit fingers, let's go. Listen, we're all for edibles. Good for you. But Steve, you were hanging out with Michael Bublé last night.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So, like, what's
Hasn't
that like,
everyone in
man?
here done that? Is that rare? Is that weird? No, it was. So the first time I had ever been acquainted with Mike from BC is my close personal friend Michael Bublé. Was during one of the streams we did on Sportsnet during COVID, where we watched old games because new games weren't happening. And it was David Amber on with me, I think Carolyn Cameron, Michael Bublé, and then me. And I'm like, all right, I will let the adults handle it. And I'm older than Carolyn Cameron, but nope, I will let the adults handle it.
I think if we were going to put you in a room with Carolyn Cameron and say to everybody, point to the adult.
They point to the one with the turtleneck.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, 100%. They would point to her. And he, unprompted, just starts talking about like, oh yeah, like sometimes I feel like I'm Steve Dangle. And I went, yes, Mike from BC, what? And then, some time passes, the world opens, and the Leafs finally make it to the second round. And then lost.
Hey, they did it though.
So when they lost, I'm just doom scrolling, depression scrolling my phone, and I see this message, and it's like, hey man, you did a great job at the streams, blah, blah, blah. And he signed off, I think he signed off Mike. And I checked, I'm like, so who's Mike? Michael Bublé. There's a blue check mark, what the and so it was Michael Bublé, and he gave me his number. And I've discovered he's from BC, Mike from BC. And we've just, every now and then we'll text, and like, that dude is a legit hockey fan. Like, he goes to me, he's like, who are your favorite Leafs growing up? No, that's boring. Who are your most underrated Leafs growing up? And that's pressure, right? Because, I don't know, like every Leaf
Who did you
here
say?
is
Who
a
did you
folk
say?
hero. I told him Alan McCauley.
Oh, good one.
and Dmitry Yushkevich.
Yes, I was gonna say.
Nice.
Kyle
Wellwood.
Wellwood.
That'd be a good answer.
Got
too.
$1 from him if you read the book.
What did you guys eat?
What did we eat?
Yeah, what did you eat with dinner with Michael Bublé?
Sea bass. I had the sea bass. So actually, here, wait, let me get there. So we were talking back and forth. He was talking about his favorite Canucks. And then yesterday, he goes, do you want to go get a bite after the draft and bring your wife? And so she broke, I'm sure, all the traffic laws to get downtown to join us. And, my mom comes over and babysits our son, Leo. And that's the proudest day of her life. I get to spend a night with my grandson while my son goes to have dinner with Michael Bublé. It was the best night of her life. So we go to the restaurant. First thing I do when I see him, because I was waiting for him, I saw all the posts go up where he said he was on mushrooms at the All-Star draft.
Yes.
And it took off. But he just said that into a mic and left. He left. And he got in his car and he's like, I'm going to put my stuff down and I'm going to go to dinner. First thing I ask him, I don't know, how do you break the ice with Michael Bublé? I go, you for real on shrooms? And he goes, what? No. I'm like, a lot of people think you're on shrooms.
Yeah, because he said it.
Yeah, he said it.
It's strange how people believed what Michael Bublé said into a microphone.
Where did they get this idea from? That's so
Crazy.
Who's spreading these rumors that I told you? And he immediately goes on his phone and he's like, hey, did you know that people are... And I'm like, I just told a very world famous person a potential scandal. And so we made that video where he ate the bread. I don't know if you saw it. And there you go. And
It only got 1,000 likes on TikTok, which tells me something's wrong with TikTok.
No, it tells me the Bublé demographic.
The Bublé demographic is not on TikTok.
Because it got a ton on Instagram. Right? But no, dude, that is a great guy. All we talked about, I would love to get up here and tell you a story where, he was licking the table and he thought the walls were melting. And no, I showed him a video of Leo skating. He showed me a video of his kids dancing. And then we talked about Matthew's crazy goal against the Kraken from a few weeks ago because he was there. And the Canucks. That was it. He's just a dude who loves his kids and hockey. That's it.
Does he think this team can win, the Canucks?
Oh, I was like the Leafs?
No. Are the Canucks for real in Bublé's eyes?
He was talking about who he would rather play in the first round, and I can't remember who it was between. It was between whoever the other team was. He would rather play the Oilers. And I was.
What do we think?
I told him maybe you are on mushrooms.
We got an Oilers fan
I don't know
up
about
there. By the way, this poor guy got booed earlier when Alan and I were on, just
Why?
because he's wearing an Oilers jersey.
Yeah.
Boo!
When are you gonna get to the tragic part of that story?
Sorry. Is there more?
No, I'm saying you should boo the Oilers.
Oh, you
fan.
should boo him?
Yeah,
I thought it
everything's
was
going
All-Star
right.
and all the stars were here. We got to be good to people.
What do you get? Goliath. They've won. I've lost track of how many straight games they've won.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
6. Thank you.
So with that in mind, we have a special guest for you today,
Oh.
who is not Michael Bublé,
Oh.
but is often mistaken for Michael Bublé.
Often.
Yes.
The Portuguese Michael Bublé.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sid Seixeiro.
Hey.
Come on now.
Look at this guy. He's all dressed up and everything, and he's been up since 4 a.m. to be here. That chair makes great noises.
That was a great sound.
Love
I
that
like
noise.
that.
Love that noise. Okay. All right. Press the button. There you go, Sid.
You guys got me?
Yeah, let's go.
Here, Sid, I'm going to move you over a little bit
I
here.
want to sit on a random phone. That's a visual you can't leave. How's everyone doing tonight? Tonight. This is my night. I've been up since 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
This is my night. I love you. Thanks for asking me out.
Oh, no. Thank you for
Love you.
coming. Love you too, man.
I want us, before we start saying, fuck. I want to join this group here and acknowledge how much love this entire community has for all of you. I've gotten to know Adam a lot over the last little bit. I've gotten to know Steve. I was in the room when Steve made his national television live debut, I believe.
The hockey YouTuber on one of the biggest football days of the year.
American Thanksgiving. We needed. Were you there that day, Jesse?
No, I'd already left.
Yeah, because you took it off. It's American Thanksgiving football.
Yeah, but then the hockey world threw us a bone when the Senators traded Chris Weidman to the Edmonton Oilers for a conditional sixth.
And we talked about it for
goodness.
2 straight hours.
We really did.
2 straight hours. I've gotten to know Steve. Steve is one of the kindest human beings I've ever met in my life. I got to work on Tim and Sid with Jesse for a while. You are one of the smartest dudes I've ever worked with.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And just the entire network with Julian, CJ, everyone, this family is tight. And this audience is amazing. I consider myself a part of this SDPN family. And just on behalf of everyone here, thank you for everything you've done. Thank you.
Thank you, Sid.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, he's not the only one that fucking met Michael Bublé. I didn't tell you. I didn't tell him the story from today.
Tell him.
What's the story?
So Michael Bublé was on a small show called Breakfast Television earlier today.
Woo! Lots of moms in the audience. Let's go. Let's go, moms.
How many moms we got? Shout out the moms.
Shout out the moms.
How many moms? That sounded weird. I'm sorry. I take it back. By the way, I saw Julian and CJ. My beer's half empty. Shout out to whoever made that happen earlier. Where's Drew? Drew?
Where's Drew?
You know what to do, Drew. So I get into work this morning at 4:30, and I go through my feed for the first time. So all of you have already seen the stuff I'm about to see. I see this video of Steve Dangle in what looks like to be the Vatican. And he does the phone turn, which is one of the great underrated moves ever. If you're ever with a famous person, do a little phone turn to Michael Bublé. And I'm like, this son of a bitch. Because we've been working on the Bublé interview for weeks to come into Breakfast Television. And we didn't listen. Michael Bublé has a lot of commitments this week. So we were told, I could tell this now, it's fine. Michael Bublé may or may not show up before the end of the show. Okay. You've done Breakfast Television enough.
And it happens all the time.
You know.
And you don't talk about it. You can't tease it, right?
You can't tease it.
Well, I showed you once.
Oh, yes.
And that was a video interview. I just slept in. I forgot to set my alarm.
Steve slept in, didn't show up. Not a big deal, I'm over it. The point is this. I love you. The point is this. So we're like, Bublé's gonna show up late, maybe. Not because he wants to be, but he's Michael Bublé. Bublé showed up 25 minutes early this morning.
Really?
He's walking around. We have like a chef from Real Sports. He's eating fries. He's dipping. I'm like, this is fantastic. So before Bublé comes on, this is like around 9:50 he's coming on. So he walks up. I go, I'm like, how the fuck do you have dinner with Steve Dangle? How does that happen? Michael Bublé looks at me and goes, I love Steve Dangle. He goes, Steve Dangle is one of my favorite people in all, I'm not kidding, in all of sports. He goes, and then he told another story. Do you want me to tell this one, or it's not my story to tell? Do you want to tell this part? I'll tell it. I'll tell it.
All right. I don't even know this. I don't know this. Jesse, do you know this?
I think so.
Okay, I don't think I've been told this.
So then Michael Bublé goes, so we're having dinner. And then listen, is Steve Dangle a passionate hockey fan? Yes or no? Passionate hockey fan. Steve Dangle, is Michael Bublé a passionate hockey fan? Yes or no?
Almost definitely.
Mm-hmm. So Michael Bublé says to me, they spent 20 minutes just talking shit about how the game could be better. And it was like loud, because there was a DJ pumping in a lot of music, right? Like you guys were yelling.
It was loud for the Vatican. It was pumping in there.
And then Michael Bublé says to me, because I didn't have dinner with him, you did. That's the only thing I could say. Bublé says, so you guys are like changing hockey. You are reconfiguring the National Hockey League.
We did a great job.
Loudly. And the commissioner may or may not have been mentioned a couple times. And someone comes behind Bublé and says, I'm a friend of Gary Bettman. I'm a huge fan of yours.
In the thickest Long Island accent I've ever heard.
Do it. Can you do the impression?
Like they were practicing for a plot.
Like Family Guy?
They called it hacky.
Hacky.
Hockey on Long Island. And I was like, that is the genuine article right there. And immediately it became about, FanFest is going really well. There's lots of things to do.
The mascots are fighting.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
They're wearing suit jackets. That's quirky and neat. Let us all know that the event is special. So, yeah, we softened our stance.
Yes.
You did.
Steve, I don't know if you want to say what SL, your Mrs. Dangle, exposed about you to Michael Bublé
So,
and the Barada.
yeah, he was working the draft all night, and he was so excited to talk hockey that he would do hockey, hockey, hockey. Oh, God, I'm starving. But hockey, hockey, hockey. Oh, God, I'm starving. Hockey, hockey. And then finally someone at the table went, Michael, order! Order something. And so he goes, yeah, I'm going to order. And Steve, do you want? I didn't hear a word he said. And I'm like, all right, I guess Did-It is about to show up. And what showed up, I think, is called
Barada.
Barada?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Where are you from? Originally, like your family?
Italy.
You don't know Barada?
We
never had
weren't a big Barada family.
I am the waspiest shit on this stage, and I freaking love Barada.
We were the...
Come on.
We were the soulfish. We were the bacala. We were the lamb. We were the spicy potatoes. We were all of that, Adam. We weren't a Barada family. Maybe all those high and mighties in the north had the Barada, but down in Puglia, Monteleone de Puglia, we were more of a spicy potato
Yeah, okay, well.
family.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you have Barada for the first time ever with Michael Bublé.
well, I don't know what's about to show up. And what shows up? A giant plate of cheese.
Yes.
And Jesse,
Yes.
what am I?
well,
Sarah Louise, my darling wife, as I'm halfway through it, goes, he's lactose intolerant. She told Michael Bublé that I was going to fart a lot in the car on the way home, which is not how I saw the evening going, and that's why she's my wife.
Now, as somebody who has been in the room with these two guys when we order a cheese pizza, and I'm not lactose intolerant, open all the windows. You can't, either of these two, you can't do it. It's
Or
bad.
leave them closed if you want to save some money on the heat bill.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Now, listen, let's talk a little hockey here, because we got you here. And I want to know, we got two major moves. We got the Canucks doubling down. This is a year we're going for it. Lindholm is now a Canuck. What do we think of the move? Are we booing it because it's the Canucks, or are we booing it because it's bad mood?
Okay.
The Canucks. Okay, but if it was the Leafs, would you feel good about the move?
Oh, they love it.
Yeah.
They love it. Elias Lindholm, future Hart winner. Kalle Yarncroke, give him 8 years. I know. I grew up with you. Shut up.
What Batman henchman is that?
All of them.
All of them.
So okay, you see the move. It's during All-Star, which is a bummer for our trade deadline special, I'm not going to lie. But what do we think, guys? What do we all think about this move for the Canucks? What's it bring them that they didn't previously have?
It brings them an absence of prospects, that's for sure. Listen, there's a saying that I used to say too much, and that is elite players don't forget how to play hockey. And I wish I never said that, because this year, most of them did. Like, a lot of them did.
Having surprisingly down years, yeah.
Yeah, Lindholm's got, 1 goal in the last month?
I think he's got 8 this year.
Something like that. Yeah, it's not going well. But still, he's the belle of the ball. Teams are rumored to be, at the time of this trade, giving up a first-round pick for Sean Monahan, who had to be traded away with a sweetener before. And now this guy who was nominated for the Selke 2 years ago is the top guy available. And I I believe that he's going to be a good Canuck. I remember the Leafs playing the Canucks and being like, Teddy Blueger's on John Tavares? Like, that's their face-off guy? So now they got this crazy 1-2 punch where they can do Petey and Lindholm and then let Suter and Blueger figure it out in the bottom six. I think it could be good for them, but that is a mighty stiff package for a guy who has not... He's probably playing his worst hockey in half a decade.
Right. Now, is that more a function of the Flames, where everybody seems to be playing their worst hockey in half a decade?
It's worth mentioning they suck, yes.
Yeah, okay. Sid?
I hate, and this is why
I love when you start by that. I hate. That's a good start.
I gotta be honest.
The Calder Cup.
The Calder Cup is not real. Who remembers the Calder Cup? Exactly. Let's move on. Do you remember that shot at Dubas going?
I got it hanging in my room. I do not.
That was the most overt, unnecessary celebration I've ever seen. I hate giving up that much for any unrestricted potential free agent. I think it's insane. But the one thing I like about what the Canucks did here is that dressing room earned it. The dressing room doesn't care about the prospects. The dressing room doesn't care about the capital. The dressing room doesn't care about Alvin and Rutherford discussions. What just happened? Oh, what an acquisition
Oh,
here.
yeah. Justin
There you
Fisher,
go.
everybody.
Adam's on coffee 1. We got coffee. Or no, that's 2.
That's coffee 2.
That's coffee two?
Let's go.
Coffee 2.
I'll make this quick. I like teams who prove to their front office, fucking bet on us. And the Canucks have done that. And I give them a lot of credit. The team in this down has done the complete opposite of that. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Oh, really? Breaking news?
Leave the Marlies alone.
They don't have a second rounder until 2038. They can't train anything. But the Canucks,
Watch your mouth. That's Leo's draft year.
It is. It is.
He shoots right.
I like teams that force the front office's hand and go, oh, damn, they're not messing around. And listen, the Canucks are going to sit there. The Oilers and Vegas are going to beat the hell out of each other. Vegas will win. Sorry, bud. No. There's one. Vegas will win. Yes, Vegas. For 20 years, a Vegas fan. Sorry, I'll take it back. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. But I respect teams that force the front office to reevaluate things on the fly like that. Good for Jim Rutherford, who's won many things, to look at his team and go, this is what you do. By the way, Elise Pettersson, I didn't know he was that tall last night. Was I the only one thinking that?
Yeah, he's
a
pretty
monster
tall.
of
He's
a
a big
human
guy.
being. He doesn't really give that aura on the ice. But
It's a lot of head and neck.
so much head and neck.
Yeah.
So much. By the way,
Yeah.
I don't want to shift this on you quick.
Uh-oh.
Kent Hughes is the new Messiah Jury of the National Hockey League.
You think so?
When
With the Monahan?
when he calls you, hang up. Because that guy is teething from teams left and right. I'm a huge Sean Monahan guy. He's one of the nicest guys in the league. What the hell was that?
So is that trade
first-round
confirmed?
pick?
Is it confirmed now?
Yes.
Is Winnipeg?
Yes.
He is a
Yes.
Jet.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. What do we think about that trade, by the way? We liking that trade for Winnipeg? Yeah, Monahan 2 first. Shocking.
Habs fan is like, yeah.
Yeah, here's the
That's
problem.
not what we meant, but
And
I
here's
understood.
And Jesse, here's the thing. When I see the Sean Monahan thing and I think, oh, Montreal's got a second first rounder, that's great. They're going to go and draft another stay-at-home defenseman. And this is the thing. If Montreal is going to compile picks, at some point, you got to take a stand with somebody who's got a high ceiling, right? Like letting Mitchkov go. Even if Mitchkov never wanted to play for you, you got to flip him for something. He's tearing up the KHL right now, and nothing against Reinbacher, but I'm worried about, with Montreal, the lack of elite talent. They are doing a good job in turning this around, but it's Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Slavkovsky's kind of come on, and then what? What is it? What's
Adam,
Uh,
the rest of the team?
What's the saying? You sell winning or you sell hope?
Yeah.
What's easier to acquire, hope or winning?
Hope.
Hope.
We're Leaf fans. Hope.
He's elite at acquiring hope. They got to win.
Jesse?
I think Sid nailed it from the Jets and the Canucks perspectives in terms of like the hockey side. You got two teams who were in the top 3 in the NHL standings. And what Alvin and Rutherford did over there in Vancouver is they didn't affect the hockey at all in Vancouver. All they did was add to it. You know, the first round pick, Kuzmenko wasn't doing anything for them.
No, he wasn't.
Didn't fit on the team at all. So you get rid of
hated
him.
his guts. Hated his guts.
Wasn't going to play him at all. He didn't fit. So you got to bail on that deal, which has another year on it. And then you brought in a player who fits your lineup perfectly. Like, what they needed was a 2C and somebody who can sit on the power play who doesn't necessarily need to score the power play goals. And that's what they got. So I love the deal from their perspective. And then Winnipeg, you gave up nothing. You gave up magic beans. That's what draft picks are. We don't know what that can be. And there's a team that has struggled with Scheifele out, so you need some support there. You bring in Monahan. I like it. I like it from both sides for the teams that are acquiring the big players.
On the Canucks end, it's worth mentioning that JT Miller discovered the other 100 feet of the ice.
Yeah, he decided to play defense.
Elite power play killer, JT Miller.
Elite power penalty
Those are
killer.
still some of the best clips. Those are the best
You're still right,
clips.
though.
Yeah.
Power play killer.
You mean-
Technically.
You mean JT Miller dogging it in the defensive zone last year? Are you talking about those clips?
Like, I'm an SDPN fan enough to know you can't show the video.
No, we can't show the fucking video.
But JT, you'll get there. But JT Miller was the gift that kept on giving.
Oh, yeah.
Because you would just show
yeah.
him not give a shit.
Yeah. Just a
About
still
the
image.
defensive end, and stills would do the trick. You would not need motion video to prove JT Miller.
He
had
bailed
quit
on
his
plays
team.
last year. Yeah. It was
incredible.
bad.
It was, and you know, it's the same thing, and you guys have seen this. LA fired their head coach today. Todd McLellan is now gone in Los Angeles, and they are supposed to be a contender. And I think a lot of the reason for that is if Pierre-Luc Dubois decides to play hockey ever again, he's going to make the new head coach look great. But that is another guy where, you know, even though we can never show the footage, you show the stills, that guy can't, he just, some days it's like, no, I just don't feel like it.
Forget the stills. Like, if you go and look at where he is in league scoring, I think he has 19 points, I want to say. And he's behind Kuzmenko, who was just a cap dump. He's behind Morgan Frost, who's been like a healthy scratch. Like, it's crazy how many guys are above him in league scoring who have been told by their coach, despite your healthy demeanor, I would like you to sit and eat popcorn tonight because you're not one of our best players.
Yeah.
And he makes $8.5 million. I just want to point that out.
That's right, yeah.
If I'm going to be honest, I think the wrong guy lost his job in LA. I think Rob Blake has done a terrible job the last couple of years.
Really?
Building that team.
I'm shocked.
Like Todd McLellan, he wants his players to play a specific brand of hockey. He wants to play 200-foot hockey. He wants everybody to work both sides. And you go acquire PLD? Like, that's the guy you're getting to play under Todd McLellan. You gave your coach the wrong horses to run with. And if the guys he has aren't successful, maybe it's the guy who brought in the guys.
Is that what we thought when it happened, though?
No, certainly not. At least not me.
But hold on, to Jesse's point, this is a guy whose claim to fame in Columbus was the shift, the laziest shift in the history of hockey. He goes to Winnipeg. Within 8 minutes, his agent's saying, I want to go to the Habs. Did he go to the draft the one year in Montreal?
did.
Yeah, you showed up just to say hi.
That SOB went to the draft in Montreal. He had a foot out the door the second he got to Winnipeg. I'm with you. If you're Rob Blake and you say, that's my guy,
You got a question.
you deserve to get bounced way before Todd McLellan, a guy I genuinely like, who got a raw deal in Edmonton with a lazy roster. I'm with you. I think more people's heads need to roll in LA just for that decision than just Todd, who I think is a good coach.
Kaliev, who's asked out apparently as well, there's another player who I wouldn't say he's defensively deficient, but defense isn't his favorite thing in the world, and that's not what Todd McLellan wants. So these are the guys you're giving the coach, and it doesn't fit the system that your coach has these guys playing.
And, like, John Tortorella, what he's done with the Flyers, would it be wild if he was nominated for the Jack Adams this year?
No, not at all. He'll probably win.
Rick Bowness and what he's done with the Winnipeg Jets, would it be wild if he was nominated for the Jack Adams this year?
No, I don't think so.
Those are two coaches who were like, beat it. And now the other guy's been fired.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen? What's going to happen is the checks will arrive on time. It's Margaritaville. Like what do you... He's set. He's set. Like, what? Why try?
Yeah.
Why try? Like, I don't believe that stereotype about players, they sign the deal and shut it off. He's not doing much for it. He's not doing much for it. And
Right.
watch, they're going to get a new coach, whoever it happens to be. He's going to get 20 goals in the next 3 games. And we're all going to be like, it was Todd McLellan. And then you know what's going to happen? The same thing that we've watched happen to 3 different teams.
But Pierre-Luc Dubois is why being an NHL GM is one of the hardest jobs in professional sports right now. You have 3 shots to miss on your cap. That's it. You have 3 chances to get this right or get this very, very wrong. And Pierre-Luc Dubois is an energy sucker. And he will. And you know what? It's talk to me in 7 years, LA. But I do believe, at some point the NHL needs to give one team on June the 28th a get out of jail free card on this. This is getting out of hand. Like you guys, it was your pod. I heard it on. Someone who brought it up. Was it you? Was it you, Jess? Someone brought it up where it's like a team needs just erase the thing from your cap.
Oh,
move.
yeah.
Yeah, just the free
One.
buyout. Yeah.
Compliance buyout.
Days
I think.
before free agency,
Yeah.
just the one, so everyone knows what the deal is, but you get one.
Yeah.
And it actually makes it more interesting because it frees up probably 24 guys who get bounced initially. Like, why is that a bad thing for the game?
I think there needs to be a way where you give the guys money because NHL contracts are guaranteed. But if we don't want you on the roster anymore, there should be a mutual parting of ways. And I don't know. I think that's something that the CBA this should be written into.
They
the CBA.
did do it after the last lockout. They did it. They had 2 of them.
Yeah.
And the Leafs blew one on Grabowski. Remember?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
you could. Right? So, yeah, well, we never forget.
You
We're Leaf
forgot
fans.
about that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Lucky
I
Now,
forgot about the Grabowski years,
Now,
yes.
I want
did.
to take the next 5 minutes, and I want to talk about the Leafs. What do you guys think? All right. So I just want to boo. Thank you for the boos too.
Shut
Appreciate
up,
the
Drew.
boos.
That was Drew.
Was that Drew? Just Drew?
Shut up. Everyone say boo.
Boo that man.
They were saying Drew Earns.
All right. So there have been people lately who have been like, "Are the Leafs going to make the playoffs?" So by your applause and your woo, who thinks the Leafs make the playoffs? All right. Who thinks the Leafs make past the first round to the second round? Woo! Wow.
Who lives in a perennial state of existential dread?
Who's on mushrooms?
All right. Quickly, third round. Any believers?
Yeah.
Okay, we got believers. I don't know. Okay, and go Devils. That's right. I didn't bring my pajamas. Sorry, buddy.
Shout out Andre Palat.
Yeah. Love Andre Palat. And what about the Stanley Cup Finals? Who sees the Leafs? Honestly, sees the Leafs in the finals? Okay. Why not?
Well,
Why not?
There was no applause.
Again with the henchmen.
Yeah.
They're very good at the henchmen.
There was no applause. But a big third round support.
Big
though.
third round. I like
Big
that we think
third
fun.
round.
So, all right. So I want to get your opinions now. I'm going to start from Jesse, work my way over. Jesse.
Sure.
Where do you think the Leafs go as of right now? This can change. I'm not going to
Yeah.
hold you to this. Where do the Leafs end up at the end of this season? Are we in April? Are we in May? Or are we in June?
You're talking about their playoff
The
performance.
playoff performance, because I'm assuming they're making it.
It's at least the second round.
You think second round?
I think they can win a round this year again.
Not
You
a lot of
build
people
on
supporting that.
Not a lot of support, but I think at least the second round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steve, known for your Leaf fan reaction videos.
I am excited to watch Simone Benoit play games where he is allowed to just simply beat the shit out of people. I think that'll be really cool. I think every year some team shows up and we're like, they stink. And then the NHL goes, aha, they stink in the regular season. But there is a new rule book that it's thinner than Texas toast. And they just throw it in there, and some team beats the shit out of everyone on their way to a Stanley Cup. Wouldn't it be great if that was Toronto? Does anyone think that's going to be Toronto? Woo! It's quieter than the mushrooms. Quieter than the mushrooms. Not a good sign.
The mushroom crowd is having a big woo night. I just want to say. All right, Sid, I'm afraid to ask because I'm seeing the look on your face. And by the way, it's not that you dislike the Toronto Maple Leafs. Is it that you dislike delusion? Is that what it is? Tell us what it is.
I'm not a fan of delusion.
You're not a fan of it.
No.
You're more of a realist.
No, but I'm okay, since we're in the applaud mood, since everyone's Johnny Applause in the room,
Don't antagonize our guests.
I want to ask a serious question in the room. I'm being serious. I've been up since 3:30. Tired. Who in the room believes the Leafs salary cap has been managed properly? No shit.
Oh.
No shit.
Uh-oh.
Quietest rec room has been since they opened this morning.
Man, all of your
No
faces are
kidding.
hilarious right
No
now. I just
kidding.
want to say.
Let me tell you something.
Here we go.
Can I stand up? Can I stand up?
Let this man cook.
Let me tell you something. A few of us out here have been saying for years this cap was horrifically mismanaged. I love Austin Matthews. Love him.
Me too.
You know what? He's already a Hall of Famer. He's already a Hall of Famer. Am I wrong? Is he a Hall of
I think
Famer?
you're right.
First
You're
ballot.
right.
Yeah.
First ballot.
First ballot.
Thank you, Jesse Blake. I like William Nylander's game a lot.
Woo!
A lot.
Hey!
A lot. I think, let's not talk about Tavares. I like the numbers Marner puts up most years. I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I have no problem with it.
All-star.
I have all-star.
All-star, yep.
Fourth pick by Team Matthews. Mitch
Real
Marner.
good.
But they need other things. They need defensemen who are crazy. I don't mind Chris Tanev. But is Chris Tanev, what's your name, sir? Ryan. Let me ask you a fucking question, Ryan. Does everyone in the room realize what winning a Stanley Cup actually is? And I'm gonna unnecessarily walk up and down the stage.
You're in a lap?
Winning a Stanley Cup means 2.5 months of playing games every other night, blood, sweat, and tears.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Which means you need crazy MFers to go out there, like Vegas had, like Colorado's had. Where's Drew? There you are.
There he is, yeah.
I was hoping you weren't there. Like every other team we've ever seen in the history of this league over 2.5 months. Do you believe the Leafs have those guys?
Oh, wow. I'm surprised.
My job is done.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
Damn.
All right. Now,
Dude, I like being humble about what we've built and the show, and I think it's lovely all these people have come here. Any member of Leafs management sees the video of the reaction to that question,
which was honest, by the way.
it should send a chill down their spine. I'm not even
Well,
gonna.
'cause
I was gonna
you know
say
why?
any deal they have in the works, you throw that shit out the window.
But here's why. Because you guys are smart.
Right.
You guys are smart. You guys know. You know. Listen, I'm going to be right there with you. And when they get to that Stanley Cup one day, our ship's coming in and I'm going to celebrate in everybody else's face, just like you should. You rub it in everybody's face. But to say right now on February 2nd? Is it February 2nd? He would know breakfast television. He's got to know the date every morning. That's good.
It's February 2nd.
February 2nd.
Groundhog Day.
Thank you, Sid.
Groundhog Day.
It's February 2nd. This is breakfast television. I just want you to know that your reaction right here shows how smart you are. It shows how into it you are, and that the wool can't be pulled over your eyes. And lately, they've been trying to pull it over our eyes a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I think the original thesis of the plot there was that they spent too much on 4 guys, and there's no room left to get the guys who are going to take you 4 rounds in the playoffs. And I think that's a problem that they're unwilling to admit. There was an opportunity to move off of some of the contracts last offseason. They fired the GM. We've been through that a million times. And moving forward, you look at and you say, okay, so they doubled down a couple weeks ago by bringing back Willie, and that was something that looks like they couldn't not do.
Yep.
So how, as a Leafs fan, do you cope with the team moving forward if they're still stuck in this situation where they're paying all these guys so much money?
Well, one of the
big
2
question.
hometown guys is going to go. That's what I think. There's 2 hometown guys out of that
Max
4.
Domi
You got
and-
Max. You got
Tyler,
Marner, you got
is Tyler
Tavares. Don't know. It's going to happen. Now, who's got do we have a fifth microphone sound, guys? Do we have anything? Do we have a fifth mic? Are we able to? Yeah? Do
we have
somebody
a
with
fifth
it?
mic.
Maddie?
Maddie, where are you at?
Mad Dog!
There she is.
Okay, Maddie. No, you get out in the crowd, Maddie. Because we're going to do some questions. You guys want to do the press conference?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Conference.
Let's do it. All right. So it can be questions for anybody up on the stage here. Maddie, you just go ahead and pick. You just go.
Okay.
You just go.
Before we get to the first question, can we all do a ow? There you go.
All right, Maddie.
Right
here, Maddie. There you go.
All right, what do we have?
What's your name?
Sean with an E.
Okay, Sean with an E.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Scene.
I'm gonna have to change my question now. I'm a long time, long time. I'm back from the producer Chris days. Many favorite things about the podcast, but my specific favorite thing is that you're always at the forefront of the shittiest parts about hockey. The issues with the culture and all the big stories that no one's talking about, you are all coming up with it. It's really, really wonderful. It makes me really proud to be a part of this community and cheer for this podcast. So I'd love to, everybody give him a big hand.
Thank you.
So in the spirit of positivity, I'd love to bring Sid Seixeiro over to the compliment section. And my ask for you, Sid, is to give Adam, Jesse, and Steve a heartfelt thank you or something that you're really grateful for or that you admire in them. So that's my challenge to you, having been up since 3 a.m. Thank you very much.
Sorry, you want me to be positive?
I want you to dig deep right now, my guy.
Is that what you're asking for, sir?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, about this crew?
These 3 wonderful men, yes.
I mean, Adam Wilde. Let's start with Adam Wilde. No, not Johnny Bublé. Let's start with Adam Wilde. Fair. No, not.
I mean, fair.
One boo in the corner. Adam Wilde cares. Adam Wilde is one of the more. Adam Wilde. I thought Adam Wilde would have my job at BT. I watched BT for a long time. Adam Wilde is one of the most talented fucking hosts I've seen doing anything. Anything. And not only is he this talented, but he has the courage to say, you know what, I believe in this so much. We're going to do this 24/7. We're going to create a community. We're going to bring people in. I'm going to trust my buddies. I'm going to trust my family, my friends that I've known forever, and we're going to kick ass. And the reality is there's some big players in this country scared to death of this guy. Woo! Scared to death. And I've gotten to know him really well, and I have nothing but respect for Adam Wilde and what he has done with SDPN, and you better fucking applaud right now for this guy.
Woo! I'll send you that check. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
You know the price. Jesse Blake.
Can I request you roast me instead?
What's that?
Can you roast me?
Yeah.
Can you just lay into me?
You want to roast?
I want to roast. I think that'll be much more fun. For the
I like
audience.
that. I like that.
Jesse is the most condescending person I've ever met in my life. Jesse creates technically everything you see and hear on SDPN, and quite frankly thinks he's better than all of us. In all seriousness. I was lucky enough to work with Jesse on Tim. How many people watched Tim and Sid back in the day? Woo! Jesse was amazing enough to be. Saw how stressful it was at times. Mm-hmm. We did, like, contrary to what you might think about Tim and Sid, we like really cared a lot about how it looked and how it came off to all of you. Jesse was a part of that team with us on the social media side for a long time, and it took me seconds to realize how talented he was. And it pissed me off to this day. You moved on. But Jesse is also the backbone of this operation. And again, I'm talking from a completely different perspective on SDPN than them. But there is no SDPN without Jesse Blake. Give a huge round of applause for Jesse Blake.
Is that supposed to be the roast or?
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. I love Jesse. I couldn't do it.
You can't. Look at that
I couldn't
face.
do it. He agreed with all my points. I couldn't do it.
I think the Calder Cup means a lot, and you should roast me. I think it's an indicator of success.
It is. Yeah. Steve Dangle. Steve Dangle is one of It takes a lot of bravery in Canadian media at any level to be yourself. There are a lot of people out there, a lot of people I respect, but a lot of people out there where they do not believe they can be themselves in this Canadian market. You see it more in the States, and you know the names I'm talking about. But in this country, it's different. And I was lucky. I was also one of the ones where I got support, and I could do my own thing. What Steve Dangle has built, starting in his fucking bedroom.
At his parents' house.
He went from his bedroom to Michael Bublé picking up the check.
Ah! Let's go.
How do you know he paid?
Don't do that. Don't do that. You see this shit? He does this all the time. You pay him a compliment. He's the most humble guy I've ever met for a guy successful as he is. He does this constantly. And it's also because you have busted your rear end as much as you have. I don't know if folks in the room realize how tough it is to record, perform in, and cut your own video every night when you're starting out. It is an impossibility to do, and by the way, not get paid. To do that the way he did, to create a brand the way he did, to the point where all of you amazing folks have come out to support Steve in this amazing network. All of you. 17 years. And you were counting every year, sir, weren't you? Wow. It was like a jail cell.
There were 300 viewers, he was one of them.
You were counting. So just, that's all the positivity I fucking got. I'm sorry.
Well done, Sid.
Woo! But I hope, I'm honored Adam invited me on tonight, and I hope you understand what I also feel. I feel the same way about them as you do. The same way. They care, they're talented, they love what they do, they're authentic. That's all you want. Canadian media audiences want authentic people. Robots aren't that interesting to people, and they're replaceable. You can't replace these three, and you can't replace CJ and Julian and everyone working behind the scenes. And I'm not making a dime for this, but I'm getting a free beer.
So it's
All
a
right,
contra deal.
let's rip the leaves. Fuck,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
done.
What else? Maddie, where are you?
I'm over here. I'm right beside you again.
Okay, who do we got?
All right, we got Hayden, and he looks like he's wearing a JT jersey, I think. Yeah. There we go. All right.
All right, long-time listener. Just want to shout out Mad Dog for looking at me. What? Shout out Steve for giving me a cameo a few years for my birthday. Don't think you remember it, but whatever. Main question for Steve. What made you start the Dangle Dial? That's how I started listening to you. And shout out my dad and everything, but yeah, just that's my main
We
thing.
love the
I
dangle dial.
hate this thing. I hate
Thank
this
you
thing.
for asking that question.
Okay.
Okay, Rogers employee, turn away. So when I worked at CBC, I was editing highlights. I would get off work at like 2:30 in the morning. That's when the bars close. So all my friends who lived in the suburbs like I did needed a drive home. So I called it the Dangle Dial. Adam, yeah, I Dangle Dialed you. Oh, yeah. And, you know, I would just get a text, I need to request a Dangle Dial. I'm like, I got you. You know, imagine having a friend, like you're in your early 20s and you have a friend who guaranteed every Saturday is going to be downtown sober with a car. That's the dream. That's the dream. And I would drive him home in the Mazda that I paid the extra $1 for, and it would be great. We'd have a great time. Years later, I ended up working for Sportsnet, and Don Collins, who was the
Program director.
program director, thank you, at the time, and he wanted to get me involved, and he had this idea where I would call into the Jeff Blair show, and I would basically just be a nuisance, which I was great at. And he's like, what should we call it? And I'm like, we can call it the Dangle Dial. And he's like, I like that, 2 Ds, let's go. And that's what the segment became. Except, I, with the exception of once or twice, recorded that. Jeff and I never actually recorded that when we were on the phone. And he at least sort of bought into it with the idea that I would be this annoying kid who would call into the station with a rant and he would mumble through it. In the few times where he had a fill-in host, they hated me more than arsenic. I think if they could have killed me, they would.
You recorded it, but it wasn't a recording of a back and forth. It was a recording of you just talking for 2 minutes straight.
No, I'd like, in some cases, I'd shoot the LFR, I'd walk into the other part of the basement, and they'd be like, talk about, I don't know, the Leo Komarov going to the All-Star game. And I'd be like, all right. And yeah, 20 goal scorer. And I would just go off for like 45 seconds, and whoever was recording the thing that day, I'd be like, was that good? They'd be like, yeah, great, click. And I know every day, if you listened to that, I deeply apologize, because I imagine it was just pissing and shitting into the listeners'
Where
ears.
is my apology?
I'm sorry.
There was.
For ever doing that.
Let me tell you something, guys. The reason we started this show is because nobody believed in him. That's the reason we started this show. I was a radio host. Nobody really cared who I was. I'd just come in from Calgary. They're like, yeah, you're doing afternoons at Kiss 92.5. Nobody cares. I was a guy that loved hockey, and I was like, I find it strange that this guy's getting 10, 20,000 on a video, and nobody wants to pick him up. And I remember there were interviews with Sportsnet, there were interviews with TSN, and they'd all be like, oh, so you're the yelly, screamy guy. The yelly, screamy guy, the yelly, screamy guy. And I remember I was talking to a Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment executive who once asked me, is he okay?
No!
And I said, well, yes, but no, but that's your fault, by the way. Mirror Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment executive, thank you. And what pissed me off about this bit was, I was glad that you were on the radio, but I was so mad because it was not what you were. It was inauthentic. It was not honest Steve. It was a
stunt boy.
Caricature of everybody who had written Steve off before. So we started this show because he had this YouTube channel. I said, when people get to know you even more, they're going to love you even more. And so thank you. And I'm right. Look at him. And what pissed me off about that bit was I'm like, Sportsnet, you're missing it. It's right there for you. Just have him come on and talk. How about Jeff Blair, Steve Dangle, 5 minutes? Just talk. You guys got 40, by the way, in sports radio, you got 45 minutes an hour, right? 45 minutes an hour to talk? About that. You can't spare 5 to just let the guy talk normally? And that's what bothered me about that bit. So whenever that gets brought up, my skin absolutely crawls. I used to go in and complain to Jesse when we were doing the afternoon show at Kiss. I'd be like, I heard the Dangle Dial today. Fucking hated that thing.
And was Dangle Dial sponsored?
I don't know, was it?
Panago.
Oh, it was Panago?
And who brought them Panago?
That.
And who got $0 cut of that?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
Still bitter.
Maddie, where are you?
Right down the middle.
Okay, Maddie, let's get the next question here.
Okay, we've got Daniel here. Go for it.
Hi, question for you, Steve. So, given how close you are with a certain Mike who happens to be from BC, you may be aware...
You need to be more specific.
the one on shrooms. Yeah.
The one on shrooms.
What was the question?
The one on shrooms.
The one on shrooms.
You may be aware that there's a rumor going around that Michael Bublé is extremely active on the Canucks subreddit. Can you confirm or deny these rumors?
So I do not have insight on that. We did not talk about Reddit at dinner in front of my wife. I would have loved that, believe me. She deals enough with... This is so embarrassing. As you know, I love Red Dead Redemption. And I recently, for the first time, went west of Owanjila Dam and caught the red chestnut Arabian. And the horse has beautiful brown eyes. So I named it Aberdeen after the city where my wife is from, in Scotland.
It's a video game horse.
It's a video game horse.
It's a video game horse.
But I have level 4 bonding with it.
Sid is sitting here going, what the hell is he
It's not
talking
a real
about?
horse.
It's not a real horse.
You get to the end of chapter 6 and tell me it's not a real horse. It's a real horse. So anyway, his passion for the Canucks, like that guy he's living the dream. He's one of the few fans I've ever heard from who thinks like all the rest of us, except every now and then he goes, oh, I have like some influence and power. And he will talk to people. I don't get the impression in sports circles he's much of a schmoozer. I get the impression he's the type of guy who, you ever wanted to walk up to the GM or the owner of your team and say, why the hell did you trade that guy? I can tell you for a fact that he has. And for that, he is a legend. A legend.
And I'm sure his username is not MBBC or something like that. Not Michael Bublé.
Feeling good 69.
One last question, Maddie. What do we
All
got?
right, I'm over here now.
Okay.
We've got 82 games, Natalie from Kingston.
Wait, how many? Wow.
And she's front and center again. So here we go. Here's her question.
Hi, first of all, I own a chestnut Arabian horse with beautiful blue eyes, beautiful brown eyes, and it is everything you imagine it is.
Great stats.
So, yeah,
Great stats.
Yeah. So my dad and I have a lot of big feelings about jerseys. I love the St. Pat's jersey. My dad hates it. He hates the Aretnas jersey. I think it's funny. What Leafs jerseys do you love or hate, or both?
Oh, like you're okay.
Any
Okay.
jersey from the 2000s with that old logo.
Like this
It was
one?
a bad logo.
It was a bad logo.
The Sundin whole era, bad logo.
Bad logo.
Okay,
Bad logo.
but looking back hindsight, they went from the Sundin era jersey to the jersey that Nazem Kadri was drafted in. That thing stinks.
That was with the no stripe at the bottom, right?
Look at all the
yeah,
jerseys.
the pajama one. Yeah.
Look at all the Leaf
That one
jerseys
sucked.
in here. Is there a single one of those ones?
No.
Anywhere? Bueller? Not a one.
Apparently
Oh, you
there's
got
no
one.
here.
You got
have
one.
it.
One.
Yeah, that one sucks.
One. And you're sitting in front of a $1,500 game used
Ponikarovsky.
jersey.
Wow.
Ponikarovsky, the biggest nameplate in the league. Love that. Love that.
All
No,
right.
that jersey stunk. The third jersey that they wore throughout the 2002 playoff run, mint.
I had one.
Of course
That was,
you did.
that was a
Everyone
birthday
did.
present. Billionaire, but yeah.
Billionaire. All I want for Christmas, besides my two front teeth, is for them to sell the St. Pat's jersey. Just invert
Switched
the
around.
colors.
Yeah.
Just invert the colors. I want a green one. I want a green one. I'm not a responsible adult. There's a reason I don't ever wear a white jersey. I'm getting mustard on it. Give me a green jersey. They announced it? No,
They're
didn't.
doing it?
No.
Yeah?
Did they announce
They
it?
announced that
Hey.
All right.
It's an
they're
amazing
coming out with
idea.
primary green. Shut up and take my money.
All right. Seixeiro?
The Bieber with the smiley face, or the whatever that was. No, I hate it.
You don't like that?
Hate it.
Oh, boo him. City, boo this man. Boo.
Tomato.
Do you know how exhausting it is to be this right all the time?
I'll never know.
exhausted.
I'll never know.
I have to say, other than my Doug Gilmour 93 white that I got when I was a kid,
Oh, so he was a Leaf fan.
not important. Not important. Not important. I take it all back, Wild. These black and blues are amazing. Like,
Yeah.
ma'am in the front row, that is one of the best Leaf jerseys I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got a few more of the black and blues out here. I saw him. Hey, shout out Solomon. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say that.
yeah.
But Solomon.
You gotta love Boria.
Godspeed, Boria. That one. That's
You
like the
are
black
aware
ones.
that is the smiley face jersey.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
You are aware. You're complimenting the smiley face
Smiley
jersey.
face. Smiley face. Smiley face. Smiley face.
Go Generals. Go Generals. No, the black ones, they're fantastic.
Jesse,
That's one
do you
of
have a
my
favorite?
jerseys.
Do you have a favorite?
My favorite. The you know the one I own, the white Winter Classic one?
Yes.
That's probably
That was a great
the
one.
I captain one.
Yes.
Yeah, where they wore the all white fits. Those are my favorite
Now,
of all time.
they lost that effing game because of course, but I
Yeah.
thought that was clean with the white gloves and everything.
Yeah, white on white is something they rarely do ever. It's one of the few times in franchise history. It's one of my favorite jerseys.
I'm going deep on this question, Natalie, and then we're going to wrap it up. You guys remember 2013, right? Remember? Well, I remember up to period 2 of Game 7. And they were wearing a jersey. They were wearing a jersey that directly mimicked the 1967 jersey. Do you guys remember that one? Do you remember that logo? A lot of people don't remember that.
Oh,
Yes.
I associate that jersey deeply with Joffrey Lupul.
Yes.
Everyone
yes.
had it.
That jersey was spectacular. And had the Boston Bruins not crushed all of our dreams the first time, we would have had that jersey for a lot longer. But we can never bring that back. You can never bring that back. But that was a spectacular jersey. But I'm going to go with the Boreas Salming in the front here.
Shout out
Oh my
Boreas
God.
Salming, 21.
So listen, here's what's going to happen tomorrow. We've got an all-star panel for you all from 12 to 2. We've got Adam Copeland.
The rated R superstar.
Yeah, that's right. We got Greg Wyshynski, Mark Lazarus, Down Goes Brown, Julian Chris will be back. Marilyn Dennis will be here too.
Marilyn Dennis!
Adam's mom! Adam's mom!
Adam's mom! Adam's mom! Adam's mom!
Adam's mom!
You know, I've worked my whole career for a chant like that. That's great. Thanks, guys. We got a whole thing happening tomorrow. Tickets are $10. We hope to see you all back. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
We're gonna hang out. We're not going anywhere, but we love you guys. You're amazing. Thank you for continuing to support. Thank you.